Pokemon card investing and prices. In today's video, we're going to talk about everything prices. Why do some things feel undervalued but not move in price? Why do some things rocket up in price super quickly? Let's talk about the economics behind this, the supply, the demand, and the subsequent pricing that comes from that. And what insights can it give us into making better choices around buying sealed products that are going to move up in price a fair bit quicker than others. Hey, if you're new here, my name's Michael /PokeOz. We talk all things Pokemon card investing on this channel with a particular lens on the sealed side of things. But of course, there's always videos on singles as well. The sponsor of today's video is the Collector app. If you don't have it, there'll be a link in the description to download it. It is so good to use. All your singles and all your sealed can go in there. The set analytics and the data you can pull from that, particularly from a Pokemon investing space, is second to none. There is also some PokeOz merch out. It'll be underneath every video with a link in every video as well. So, right, let's jump into the crux of this video. Investing in sealed products and pricing. So I guess I wanted to talk about how products behave on the secondary market. And before we can talk about that, I guess we need to define secondary market. It's like, well, what do you mean secondary market? Well, here's exactly what I mean. When sealed product comes out, it doesn't go to the secondary market. It goes directly to what I'd say is the primary market. The primary sellers, that is. The primary sellers are your brick and mortars, your online stores, and anyone else that really has access to distribution or from distribution to be able to sell these products firsthand. That's the primary market. Once it shifts from the primary market, as in the brick and mortars run out of supply, online stores run out of supply, it then moves into the hands of the secondary market. And that used to take time. It used to take 9 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. In some cases, from sets that got multiple reprints across, a 2-year time period, it could take 2.5 or 3 years for sealed product to move from the primary market to the secondary market, or the primary sellers to the secondary market. That has been accelerated so rapidly lately because people are buying the sealed product. I guess, you could call them resellers, or some people, of course, refer to them as scalpers. They're buying all the product from these primary outlets and then they're reselling it on the secondary market. So they're accelerating this massive increase because that's the first shift we see in sealed Pokemon card product pricing. Sealed Pokemon card product pricing. Try and say that quickly. That's the first shift we see. That's the first massive gain we see. Once it moves from the brick and mortars and online stores, the people with access to distribution that sell it at a fair market price, to the secondary market. Because once it's in the hands of the secondary market, that's who has control of the pricing. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. Let's start with a little example. So the first example I wanted to start with is Battle Styles. Most people tout Battle Styles as one of the worst Sword and Shield sets. I don't think it is one of the worst. I think it's bottom end of mid-tier, but it's not one of the worst. Sets, not mid-tier overall, but sets from Sword and Shield era. Of course, Sword and Shield Base, Rebel Clash, Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze are all probably worse sets. Main booster box sets I'm talking about are all probably worse sets than what Battle Styles is. If you look at the set list up on here, and I'm not going to show the full set list, but the top 4, it's not too bad. Like Sleeping Tyranitar, the Empoleon artwork is amazing. There's a couple of Alt Art Urshifus. It's not the worst set. Like, you compare it to Darkness and Blaze and you go, that absolutely kicks its ass. Total set value of Battle Styles is $750 or $760, somewhere along those lines. So it's not a very high value total set. There's not heaps of chase cards inside. And that's, of course, probably where the total set value comes from, is your big chase cards. I mean, compare that to some of the higher performing Sword and Shield sets like Fusion Strike, and in particular, of course, Evolving Skies, and it doesn't even come close to it. But compare it to Darkness Ablaze or Rebel Clash, and it blows them out of the water. Now, here's where it hurts, though, and this is where the supply comes into it. If we jump into eBay and look at Battle Styles, you'll see there is so much supply. So you think, okay, Battle Styles is starting to get older. It's got a few good chase cards inside it. Why isn't the price starting to move? It feels undervalued. And I talk about a little equation, and the equation goes somewhere along the lines of, once a set reaches roughly 5 to 7 years old, its total set value gets very close, and it depends on the set, of course, gets very close to equaling the sealed booster box value. So we look at Battle Styles, which has $760 US total set value. We would expect somewhere along the 5 or 7 year mark for the booster box price to get in line with that 760 US dollars. But if we look at this from eBay, and this is Australian pricing, mind you, Australian dollar, look, 400 Australian dollars is probably 300 US at the moment, or just around that price. So this isn't about the dollar value. This is about how many of these are on the market at a particular price. So if we sort of look at the floor of the market on eBay here for battle styles, you'll see that it's around 400 Australian dollars or mid 400 Australian dollars. And we can keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and just seeing booster box after booster box after booster box somewhere between $400 and $500. And what that means is the floor of the market for a Battle Styles booster box isn't disappearing anywhere quickly. And then you've got to look at supply, demand. How many of these are actually selling each day? And the answer is probably not many, because with the same $400 or $500, you can buy better sets. You could buy Phantasmal Flames and hope to rip that Charizard if you're someone that wants to chase cards. You can buy pretty much any Scarlet and Violet booster box except Destined Rivals and have a great time trying to chase things like Twilight Masquerade's Greninja, or even investing in those booster boxes because you think they're a better long-term investment than Battle Styles. And what happens with this supply is, even if someone bought 50 boxes off the market, all it does is it maybe moves the floor of the market from $430 to $460 based on that. And there's also cases of these still selling for the same price that you can pick up Mega Evolution base cases. This set is 5 years older than Mega Evolution base, and the cases are still going for the same price. Why? Why is an older set that should appreciate in value with somewhat decent chase cards just not doing that? It's because of the supply. Don't think that supply doesn't play an important role. Look, demand can eat up that supply really, really quickly, but there needs to be that demand. And that's why a lot of people ask, like, and here's a comment I hear all the time on Chilling Reign. Every YouTuber's been saying Chilling Reign has been undervalued for the last 5 years. And look, it somewhat is. It's a phenomenal set. It's got a pretty decent total set value, but same thing. There's enough supply that you would need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in any given country, whether it's Australia or the US or the UK or Canada or wherever you are, to shift the floor of the market. You would have to buy up, and I don't even know what the going price is for Chilling Reign booster boxes, but let's say it's $700 US or $650 US. I don't even know what it is, but there's probably going to be 50 booster boxes listed at that price. You'd have to buy them. There's probably going to be another 40 booster boxes listed at $680. Then another 50 booster boxes listed at $700. So to even shift the floor of the market, you're going to have to buy out so much inventory. It's just insane. Now, the next thing is you can put a positive spin on this. And here's one example I wanted to give, or actually a couple of examples. One's Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes up on the screen here. As you'll see, the floor of the market can be moved very quickly on Prismatic Evolutions. This is Australian prices, mind you. It doesn't look like we're getting any more Elite Trainer boxes from what I can see in Australia. I heard, is America getting more Elite Trainer boxes? I don't know. I don't keep a massive eye on your market, of course. Well, like I do and I don't. I don't keep an eye on the drops coming. I heard you're getting maybe some more super premium collections of Prismatic. Jeez, it's crazy. It's like, release a set, reprint Prismatic. Release a set, reprint Prismatic. Release a set, reprint Prismatic. It's like, give something else some love. Prismatic's had enough, but even with all that printing, it doesn't seem to be denting Prismatic Evolutions. But what I'm getting at is the floor of the market has and will move really quickly on Prismatic Evolutions if there's no more Elite Trainer Box reprints here in Australia, because what happens is it gets bought out. And as you could see from that eBay graphic, it doesn't take much. Like, there's not that many boxes, Elite Trainer boxes, to be moved before you shift the floor of the market. $20, $30, $40, $50, and all of a sudden, there's a new floor to the Elite Trainer box market if you want to enter into it. Same thing goes for Destined Rivals up on the screen here. That's the exact same scenario. You can look at these boxes and you go, okay, there's a heap sitting around, and again, this is Australian dollars, but it's looking at UK, US, there's all markets on this here. So it's not about the dollar value, it's about how much product needs to be moved before we see a shift in the floor of the market. And there's not too many. You could eat through 20, 30, 40 Destined Rivals booster boxes and you're shifting the price of the market by $150. It's crazy how all that works. Now look, contrary to that, the opposite can happen. And here's just an example, and this is a hypothetical. But let's say hypothetically, lots and lots of people are holding Evolving Skies, which we know there are. There are a lot of people holding Evolving Skies booster boxes. They are dwindling down because they're getting opened. A lot of people have sold them. A lot of people have locked them away in collections. But let's say, hypothetically, during all this world drama that's happening at the moment, people are tight for money and people go, you know what, I've got 3 Evolving Skies booster boxes. It's time to list 2. I'm happy to keep 1, lock it away in my collection forever and hope it appreciates in the future. But if people put a lot of supply of a product on the market, we can actually start seeing a retraction in the price. And then people are going, oh, why isn't it selling? Well, I know how to sell it. I'll relist it a little bit cheaper. I'll offer some sort of eBay offer or TCG offer and I'll sit it below. I'll be the cheapest in the market. If I'm the cheapest in the market, mine's got to sell because the only way someone is going to buy one is go price low to high. And if mine's the cheapest and it's good condition or fair condition, well, they'll buy it. That's how pricing of product actually starts to go down. So it's really interesting to see that there are actually some undervalued products in the Pokemon TCG that aren't moving because there's so much supply of it on the market. It's a really interesting dichotomy between supply and demand on the Pokemon market, and you can make some very good choices just by looking at things like that. How much actual supply is there before the floor of the market moves up? And if there's not much supply there and it's a sought after set and there's heaps of demand for it, well, I would buy in on that set. That's how you figure out what's going to make moves quickly. I remember one last example. I remember Fusion Strike and how quickly the floor of that market kept moving up and up and up. And I remember looking at it going, like, we don't need to buy many boxes here in Australia for the floor of it to go from 200 Australian dollars to 250 Australian dollars, from 250 Australian dollars to 300, from 300 to 350. They're the examples where you can look at to make smart decisions to lock in some good investments. I'm Michael, this is PokeOz. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll catch you all next time.